In this video, we will guide you through the onboarding data process in Informatica's Business 360 console. This video will cover the onboarding data process from end to end. We'll onboard data from a flat file to the person business entity. We'll begin by discussing the prerequisites for your environment. Then we will move on to the required configuration in data integration, before showing you how to set up and run the Ingress job in Business 360 console. Let's begin. In order to complete the onboarding process, also known as Ingress, you'll need to have a secure agent and 2 connections already configured. For this demo, we have a flat file and a Business 360 connection already configured. Configuration for the Ingress process begins in Informatica data integration. There's 3 steps we have to complete in data integration: create a mapping task, and create a task flow. First, let's create our mapping. We will name the mapping. Now, let's configure the source. Under the Source tab, we will select the connection we wish to import data from. Then select the object to import under that connection. Now we will begin configuring the target. This time, we will select the Target tab to configure the target connection. And then we will select an object that will receive the imported data fields. Now let's connect the source and target. Going back to the target, let's now configure the field mapping. We will expand the bottom pane to see the UI better. To map a field, from the list of input fields on the left, drag each to the corresponding target field on the right. Now we will need to add an in-out parameter to track the job instance. We must name this parameter Job Instance ID, exactly as shown, since this field is case sensitive. Now we can save the mapping. And like that, we've finished the first part of the Ingress configuration. Next, we will need to create a mapping task from this mapping. Let's give this mapping task a name. And select the runtime environment containing our secure agent. Double-check that the in-out parameter is configured correctly. Then we can skip the last step and click Finish on the wizard. Now that we've created the mapping task, we can move on to creating a task flow. First, let's give the task flow a name. Next, under the Input Fields tab, we will add an input field that corresponds with our in-out parameter. Remember, this field is case sensitive, so enter Job Instance ID exactly as shown. Now we will add a data task to the task flow by dragging it from the menu on the left. Now to configure the data task, we will select the mapping task we created in the last step. We need to add an input field to the data task for our in-out parameter. Now let's edit the input field. We need to select Field from the drop-down menu, and then select our in-out parameter to pass along the job instance ID. Now let's save our task flow. And finally, we will publish the task flow so it's ready to run. That completes the required configuration in data integration. So we'll switch over to Business 360 Console. Now that we're in Business 360 Console, let's create our Ingress job. First, we will need to name the job. Now we can select the Ingress process. Now select your source system. Now we will add the task flow we created in data integration. Since we've configured everything correctly, Business 360 Console will automatically detect which assets to import. With everything set, we can save the Ingress job. Now we're ready to run. We can review the results of the job on the My Jobs page. And just like that, the Ingress job is complete. To recap, to onboard data, also known as running an Ingress job, in Informatica Administrator, you'll need a runtime environment with a secure agent and 2 connections already configured. In data integration, you'll need to configure 3 assets: a mapping task, and a task flow. Finally, in Business 360 Console, we can create the Ingress job and run the job. For more information, go to the Informatica documentation portal, visit our communities and support hubs, or check out our website.